Hey, hello everybody, this is Ken Adelglass with a review video for the class we held at the Y at Hemby on September 30th, and we were covering how to use the XY coordinates in Scratch and how to move in Scratch. And I'm going to make these videos each week, as I mentioned in class, just so you can understand and reinforce some of the things we did, and also to give you a little hint on the challenge I gave you, which was to draw using the pen, creating the first letter of your name. And I'm going to show you how you do the first letter of my name, which will be K, and I'll show you how to do that, and then I hope you can give that a try too. And always remember to practice this every day. Practice using Scratch every day. See what different things do. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and go at it. So let's get started. I'm going to add that backdrop I did last time. So I'm going to come down here to New Backdrop where it says Choose Backdrop from Library. I'm going to give that a click. And I'm going to scroll way to the bottom here and grab out this XY grid background. And this was my XY grid. And if you remember, we talked about if you're moving on the X-axis, the numbers go up if you're moving right. And if you're moving left, the numbers will go down into negative numbers. And Y is up and down. So if you wanted to move up, you'll do a positive Y. And if you wanted to move down, you'd use a negative Y. And if you notice that the cat is located right in the middle of the screen, and that's because the location of the cat is at 0, 0. So whenever you want to have your cat centered in the middle of the screen, you can always do this. You can go over here to Scripts, click on your cat, which is Sprite 1, and you're going to do Go to 0, 0. And let's go to Events and grab out a When Flag is clicked. So whenever we have a Go to 0, 0, no matter where we put the cat and we hit our flag, our cat will jump back to the middle. So the Go to XY is very important. Not only can it go to 0, 0, it can take us to any spot on our screen. So as we mentioned, negative number, let's say x was minus 150. So which way should this go? This should take us to the left because it's a minus x. So anything that's a minus will take us to the left. So let's try that. And you can see we jump back to the left. If you want to move back forward and head over back to the right, back to center, of course we could do 0, 0. That'll move us to the right. And of course, if we do 100, we will move further to the right. Okay? And let's go ahead and bring us back to 0. And the same goes with Y. Y controls us up and down. So if we put a 100 in Y and hit the flag, we will move up. We could get back to 0 by putting a 0 here. So this brings us to exact locations. Okay? So minus 100 will bring us towards the bottom of the screen. Okay? So if I wanted to write my name with a K, okay, let's go over, and we talked about the pen a little bit. Before we do that, actually, let's go back to motion, and let's go to the different ways we can move. We discussed change x by 10. So if we go to 0, 0 and then change x by 10, or let's do it this way, change x by 100, our location should be, so what would we be here? X is, we start at 0, 0 and then we change x by 100, so we ultimately should be at x 100, y 0 when I hit the flag, because it'll run these two blocks of code. Let's see if I'm right. And you see I'm not in 0, 0 because it did change x by 100 as the second line. So it went to 0, 0 and then changed x by 100, and now my location is x 100, y 0. Everyone see that in the upper right corner. You can also hit this little y here where our sprite is. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and you'll see it tells us the exact location of our cat, 100, 0. Okay, so change x can just move you. So if that's another way to move, as we discussed. So if I go to Control, grab out a repeat statement, and do change x by 10, we're going to have the same effect of moving, but with one difference. Okay, we're going to move incrementally instead of just jumping there. Watch what happens now. We're going to go to 0, 0, which should move my cat to the center, and then we should move there a little slower. It won't just appear at 100x. It'll move there. Okay, everyone notice that? I'll do it one more time. Okay, So that's how you get a moving motion, and that's using change X. If you remember, if we go back to motion, we use move, and move is a perfectly fine way to move. Okay, but you have to specify what direction you want to move before. But if you do change X by 10, change X by 10 will always move you to the right. And if we do change X by minus 10, let's see what happens here. So we're going to go to 0, 0, so we'll start here again, and now we should back up. Okay, so our cat now goes in reverse. Okay, we would have to point him in the right direction and do a minus 10. So if we wanted to solve that and point him in the right direction, we would just have to add this and point him left. Okay, let's try that. Oh, and one more thing. We need to set him to left right so he wouldn't turn upside down. So let's see now, and that solves our problem. Okay, so little trick there. Okay, so point direction minus 90. So we'd have to do all that to point him that way. Okay, easy solution. I'm going to drag that off here, bring us back. So now he's going to be pointing left. I could always just change his direction. Incidentally, you can double click on any of these blocks and return back. Like if I change this now to minus 90 and just double clicked, he will change direction. So that's a little tip. You don't have to actually have it when a flag is clicked. You just double click any block at any time. Okay, so that's change X. If we do change Y now, same thing. So I'm going to grab out a change Y by 10. If I change Y by 10, remember Y is up and down, so Y will take me up. Okay, so now we're moving up. Okay, and if I do minus 10, you'll see Y will move me down. Okay, and we did a little exercise here where I duplicated. So again, let me show you that really slowly. Make this a little bigger. So if I right click over here on repeat, I'll get duplicate. I'm going to duplicate that. So I'm going to have Y go by 10, which would move me up from 0, 0, which is where I'm starting, and repeat 10. So that's going to bring me up 100 slowly, and then it's going to bring me back down. So now it should look like I'm kind of jumping a little bit. Okay, that's how you can do a little jump animation. Okay. So another neat thing we can do, so that's moving with X, and then the other option for moving, the last one we have here, I'm going to move these off to the side. You could also glide. Okay, so if I wanted to glide to, let's say, X 100, I can just hit the flag, glide 1 second, and it'll glide for 1 second. If I want to make it faster, I just make it a smaller speed, a smaller amount of time, so that's a half a second. If I want it super fast, 0.25. Okay, and you remember how to have him change what direction he's facing? Remember, just drag out a point in direction 90. Put that in there. Now he should point the right way if you have him moving. So if you ever have a problem with what direction your cat's facing or your sprite's facing, always remember it's point and direction. Make sure you select the correct direction. In this case, I'm moving him right. Okay. Now I want to move him left, so I'm going to just point left, and I could say glide a half a second to minus 100. Anything in the minus area is going to move me minus. Okay, so he's going to go wherever he starts, which is 0, 0, and he's going to just glide to this location wherever it might be. Okay, that's easy enough. And then the same with Y. So if I do 0 and I say Y 100, and he goes up. Okay, and if I say Y minus 100, he goes down. So let's say I wanted to move him in a square. Okay, so if I wanted him to move in a square, he's going to start at 0, 0. Okay, and I'm going to shrink my cat too, so he just looks like a. So remember to shrink, you go up here to the little shrink, and you can just keep clicking on him. Once you move your mouse away from the cat, the shrinking ability goes down. So now you'll see, now he moves a lot more. So now he goes down to 0, minus 100. Then I need to move him to the right. Okay, so if I'm moving to the right, I need to bring it to X 100. So I'm going to grab out another glide, or easier yet, let's start using some time-saving tools here. We're going to right-click on glide and hit duplicate. and I'm going to duplicate again because we need 4 sides. Might as well just do that. Okay, so now I don't have to write 0.25 each time. That'll save me some time. So I went down to minus 100. Now I still need to be at minus 100 on the y because I still need to be down here. I want to make my point right here. So my point here is going to be minus 100 y. Actually, it's going to be plus 100x, but minus 100 y. So I just have to do this. Okay. So my first point was 0x minus 100. 0x is right here, and minus 100y is exactly where the cat is. My next move, I needed to go to 100x and negative 100y. Because y didn't change, I'm just moving along this line. I did not move up or down, I moved across, okay, to the right. Okay. Next I want to move up to 100 on x and 0 on y. Okay, because now I'm moving, so I put a 0 on y and a 100 on x. Okay, so I'm staying here and I'm just moving up on y from minus 100 to 0. And then lastly, I just want to move back to 0, 0, just like that. So now he should glide and make a square. And if I want him to just keep making a square, I could just put him in a forever loop, of course, just like so. And he will just endlessly keep making a nice square. Okay? And there might be some characters in your game that you might want to have moving in a fixed location, motion, maybe some guards at a gate or something like that. So this would be a perfect way to do that. Okay, so I'm going to hit stop here. He's going to just stop. All right. So that's how to make him move. Now, if we wanted to make him draw the box as he goes, we can go over here to a pen. And we could just start with doing a clear because we want to always start. Clear will clear out anything we draw in this section. Okay, so that's why we put a clear. And I'm going to say pen down right here. And if I do that, he's going to draw a square. You didn't see it here because there's already a line there, but he's actually drawing. Okay, if I take away my background, you'll see that better. So I'm going to go here to Stage, Backdrops, and I'm going to just use the blank backdrop, and you could see he drew a square, just like that. And he's continuing to draw a square because I have the forever loop going. Okay, let's go back to our sprite. And he's drawing a square. So you can do the same thing with rectangles or each letter of your name. So again, I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out how to draw my name here, or the first letter of my name, I should say. So I'm going to go back to Stage. I'm going to choose my XY grid because that'll actually help me figure out. And I want to start, I'll make the first line over here, just like that, down. And then I'm going to make a line from here to here and here to here. And it should look like a K. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as it resembles what you need. And that's my challenge for the week. So my K, I'm going to start up here. So what's my coordinates up here? It's going to be on the x-axis minus 100. It's going to be minus 100x, and it's going to be 100y because it's up on y. Up on y is always positive, so it's 100. And x, I'm going to the left, which is going to be negative. So it's going to be minus 100x, 100y. So let's go to scripts, go to my cat. I'm going to clear out this forever. Okay. And let's do this. Let's do pen up. Clear and pen up. When you do pen up, just in case if you finished some code where your pen was down, you want to make sure your pen is up so you don't start drawing extra lines. So by having the pen up, you're safe. So I'm going to first just go to where I want to go. All right, so I'm going to do go to, and I said I wanted to go to minus 100x and 100y. And I can test that. And actually, before I put my pen down, I'm going to drag my pen down away. Notice how I did that too. If there's something in between that you need to drag out, you go to the one you want to drag out, detach them, put back what you want. And that's the best way really to do it in Scratch. So let's make sure it goes to this spot here to make sure that's correct. I don't need this 0, 0 either. I just want it to start, and I don't really care what direction my cat faces, and just ignore what it just did here. Okay, so we're going to clear pen up and go to my location, And that's exactly what he did. So if I hit the flag now, he goes exactly to where I want him. Now I want him to draw a line straight down from here down to here, and the coordinates here are minus 100x and minus 100y, which is easy. So I'm going to do a few different things here. I'm going to do you could do a go to, or you could do a glide. Glide actually is more fun and it looks better. So I'm going to do glide for 1/4 of a second, and we said it's going to be minus 100x, okay, which it was at minus 100x, so we're not moving any further to the left, so it stays at the same x as minus 100. And then we're going to do y also minus 100, and it's actually set perfectly for what we want. And let's put our pen down here, right here. Okay, so first we go to our start location, we put our pen down, and then we want to draw a line from this point to this point, and let's see if that works. Perfect. All right. Now I want to go back to, and I can continue drawing because it'll just draw over this line. I want to go back to this point and make a K. So to do that, I just need to move my Y. Since I'm moving up and down, it's always a change in Y. X is going to stay the same. So my X, let's go ahead and duplicate this. I'll move some of these blocks out of the way that we don't need. Okay, so we have glide 0.25 to our start location. I'm sorry, here's our start location, minus 100, 100 up here. We then put our pen down, glide down, and now I'm going to go to minus 100x, which is the same, and minus 100. Oh, I'm sorry, I want to go up, so I want to be over at this point. So I want to bring my pen up. I don't want to really draw anything here, so I'll bring my pen up here. Okay, and I just want to go to this point. Okay, so I bring my pen up because I don't need to redraw this line, and I'm just going to glide back to 0y. Okay, so I'm going to come back up here to 0y, which is still minus 100x. So let's see if that works now. Okay, so he does a little bounce. And now I want to go from this point up to here, okay, which would be 0 on the x-axis, but since I'm moving up, it's on the y-axis, and that's 100. So let me duplicate that. So let me do a pen down, because I want to be drawing this line across. I'm going to do a pen down, and I will duplicate the glide again. I'll move this off here. I don't need it right now. And I'm going to do 0.25, and again I'm going to move to 0x and 100y. Okay, so 0x is along this line, and y is at 100. Up and down is always y, so that's 100. Let's try that out. Perfect. All right. Now I want to go right back to that center point and draw the last part of my K. Okay, so what I want to do now is again lift my pen up, and the point I want to go to is the point that was right here, this minus 100, 0. Okay, this point here. So I already have that block of code. So here's a little trick. You can detach and detach, and right now I have it isolated. See, it's not attached to anything, so I can duplicate it, click it back down here, and reattach everything. Little trick. It will save you lots of time as you go on. Okay, so I wanted to go to that same spot, and I didn't want to draw anything, so my pen is up. So let's try it now. So it should draw my K and bring my cat back to here without any extra drawing. Let's try it. Perfect. Okay, and last but not least, I want him to finish up. So I want him to come back down here, and this again is going to be 0 on x, because anything that's right in the middle here, that's not left or right. If it's right in the center, it's always going to be 0x, and it's going to be minus 100y, and we don't have anything like that, so let's just add. We don't have to copy it this time, so we're going to put our pen down because we want to draw this, and then let's manually put this one in just so we remember where glide is. Remember, that's in motion, and we're going to grab out glide. I'm going to change this to 0.25. We said x is going to be 0 because x Right now x is at minus 100. We're just bringing it back to 0, but we're making y minus 100 because it's lower than where we are. So right now we're right now we want to go to minus 100 on y. Here we are at 0y. Okay, so we're going from 0 to minus 100. That'll bring us down. And if we're going from x minus 100 to 0, we're going to go to the right. So that'll bring us to this point. And that should complete the k. So let's try it. Perfect. Okay, now let's take a look and see how that looks without my backdrop. Again, I go click on my stage, click on backdrops, click on backdrop 1. Okay, and you can see there's a perfect K. Okay, very cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this file over to Jen, and you guys should receive the link to this very shortly. And actually, if you're watching it, obviously you've received the link. But you'll also receive the file that has the drawing of my K, so you could practice drawing your own name. And I'm going to leave this, I'm going to go here to stage, and I'm going to put my script here. Oops, backdrop. So I click on stage, backdrops, and my XY grid. So the XY grid will be up there. So your job then will be to figure out how to draw a letter of your name. And again, don't try to figure out, it should be just straight lines. So I just made my K very simple. Okay, if your name's an R, you know, you could just go here and just have a diagonal line here. It doesn't have to look perfect, as long as it does what you think it should be doing with the coordinates. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to understand how the cat moves in coordinates. Okay, and we also covered the pen. And remember, pen up means there's nothing going to be drawn on the screen. Pen down means you are writing. Okay, and we're going to do some cool pen projects coming up in this coming week. That'll involve more color and just more interesting things. And you can do quite a bit with the pen with very little code. So it's quite a bit of fun. So hope you enjoyed this, and just keep practicing. Don't be afraid to change numbers and see what they do. So change your coordinates in each one and see what they do. Change your speed, see what it does. Okay, as far as your how many seconds gliding. Remember, small fractions are going to be faster than whole numbers. So if you put 3, 4, 5 seconds, it's going to take much longer. It's going to take, if you put a 4 in here, it's going to take 4 seconds to go to 1 point. So if, for example, if I just wanted to make everything 1 second, watch the difference. It's going to be a much longer process. It only took maybe like a little more than a second to draw my K. Now it's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. See, much slower. Still did the trick though. There's my K. And you know what? We can have our cat say something, since we're signing off in a second. Let's go over here to looks, a little bonus here. We can have our cat say goodbye for now. Okay, for 2 seconds. Let's see how that works. So we'll hit the flag. There you go. And you could also, if you want to, have him say a message when he starts. So up here, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to say time to draw the letter K. And off he goes. And then when it's complete, he says goodbye. Alright, so that's a fun little project. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see everybody on Wednesday. If you have any questions, please just send them in. Send them in to Jen. She'll forward them on to me, or I'll answer them in class. And if you do have questions, and if it's something that everyone's trying to do, I will create a video for it, or we'll cover it in class, or both. Okay. So have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.